What is up, everybody? It is Saturday, July 6th, and I am out here in the garden first thing this morning. It is going to be another hot one today. As you've been seeing and following along on the past videos, our weekly updates, we've been dealing with a drought now for some time. There was the forecast earlier this week was calling for rain Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday this week. Well, they called it off on Thursday. Yesterday on Friday, there was a 70 to 80% chance of up to 3/4 of an inch of rain. We got 2/10 of an inch. No chance of rain today or tomorrow. They've called both of that off. So there is going to be some remnants of tropical storm Burl, I forget the name of it. That's supposed to be coming up and maybe bringing some rain for several days next week. There's not a high probability and there's not high rainfall totals in the forecast, but who knows? We need rain. We need rain badly. We are several inches below average. Anyway, kind of give you a walk down here of the garden. So I've been out here this morning. I came out yesterday evening, started picking cucumbers. We got cucumbers coming on, but the weeds, I've been trying to leave the garden alone to some extent because of the drought. I didn't want to disturb anything and end up kind of stunting or injuring any of the plants because of the lack of rainfall. But after the rain yesterday, everything was kind of damp, so I came out and I started weeding around the beans and the cucumbers because I had kind of avoided doing that for a while. But now I came out here this morning and I continued on weeding some more. I'll give you a close up, but you can see the weeds piled up back through here behind me. I'm going to rake those out, pile them over here out of the way. We'll haul them off and probably burn them. It's mostly, what do they call it, pigweed, I think is what it's called, pigweed or hogweed, I forget exactly what it is. I think it's in the amaranth family, but it can absolutely take over a garden if you're not careful. For the most part, the beans are doing good. We've got beans coming on. They'll probably be ready to be picked in the next few days. I can't remember if it's the Contenders or the Blue Lakes, but the beans on the right here are right here. They are almost ready to be picked. The ones over here are still just kind of in the blooming and just setting on stage. So I need to go back and look at my journal and see which is which, and I'll update it down here below. So anyway, corn is starting to tassel out up here now, so it's really short, but a lot of times my peaches and cream corn doesn't really get more than 5.5 feet tall. It's only about 4.5 to 5 feet tall this year, and I think the drought really is what caused that. I've talked to a bunch of people who I know that have gardens in the area, and they actually told me that their corn isn't producing at all this year because of when they put it out about a week later than me. When I put mine out, it rained the next couple days after I put it out, and it gave it a real good head start. They planted theirs a week after, and then that's in the heat of the drought. Well, that's when the drought really started, and so their corn totally missed out on all the rainfall that mine benefited from. So anyway, I'm gonna get a little walk through here. Tomatoes are starting to green up a little bit, but they're really struggling still. They're really having a hard time dealing with this heat. The peppers are just still super small and stunted. They're setting on fruit, and a lot of these plants are only 8-9 inches tall. So even though we're coming down here watering the tomatoes and peppers every single day via bucket, they're still stunted. So that's kind of the garden update for down here. Back over here, the June apple tree is absolutely hanging full. I'll try to get some video shots of that too for you. It is hanging full, and they are sweeter this year than I remember in past years. So this is a really good pie and cooking apple. They got a little tartness to them, but for the most part, they're relatively sweet apple. And that's an old tree. I think I was told that tree's 60, 70 years old. So anyway, I'm gonna start wrapping things up here. The sun is getting really high and hot, and I gotta get all these weeds raked out of here, and then I'm going to take you up to the house and give you an update on how things are going up there. We are up at the house now. It is late afternoon, early evening actually. It's 6 p.m. We had a lot of things going on. After I left the garden down there, my dad called, and we've been working on getting a barn put up here at the house. So I'll take you right over here real quick. And so he called me and said, hey, I'm ready to start bringing the Bobcat up and start working on the barn, or clearing the spot for the barn. So we have cleared the site for the barn back there. And I had it all marked off originally, so he knew the footprint we needed to cut in. And then after he cut this all in, we had to come back out and I had to remeasure it and put the stakes back in the corners. I've got some trees. I've got 3 or 4 hickory trees back over there that I'm going to have to cut down because they are going to be encroaching on the side of the barn. So that's not a big deal. I'll take them down. We will cut them up into firewood, and they'll make fantastic firewood to last us a couple of years. And then I've got to decide if I'm going to take this big cedar tree back here out, because it's going to be on the corner of the barn as well. And it's full of poison oak. It kind of blocks out a bunch of the persimmon trees there. So I don't know, if I cut it down, I'm going to go take it and have it milled into lumber. So, you know, try to make the most out of it as we can. While I'm here, go ahead and show you the peach tree. It is still loaded, but I'm having a major issue this year with brown rot. Let me try to find one here and I'll show you. There's one, if I can grab it. So what's happening is, get back over here where the light's better. You see here, this rot sets in. It's almost like a mold. If you touch it, it puffs up like a mildew or mold, and it comes on just overnight. I mean, I can, for example, like this peach right here. That peach, it's like, I could probably pick it now. It's not perfectly ready, but it's really close. But what's crazy is that peach can be like that right now. I can go in tonight and go to bed, and I can get up in the morning, and half this peach will be brown with that brown rot. It just comes on so fast. See, here's another one. Dang. Man, I bet I threw 30 peaches with brown rot away today because it just comes on. Here's another one. This peach was not like this yesterday. Oh, look at there. These peaches this tree has been sprayed. Now, I didn't spray it as much and as often as I like to and typically do. I really got off schedule with it this year, so that may be contributing to it. But as you can see, well, you can't hardly see it there, but it's still covered in peaches. Let's walk over here. Hey, baby. Let's go over here. Oh, that sun's brutal. I'll see you over here at the box bed real quick. Okay, before I go to the box beds, I want to show you something else here. So we normally don't have a problem with Japanese beetles. They have been awful up here so far this summer. They just emerged 2.5 weeks ago, and they're actually eating and destroying a lot of the peaches as well. So we bought this Japanese beetle trap, and this is a non-toxic, basically organic beetle trap. And what it is there's this disc up in the top, and it uses the, there's a carpenter bee in there too. That's the first one of those so far. It uses like a synthetic pheromone from the Japanese beetles, and they go in there, get caught, they can't fly out and they die. Or if they get stunted and really weak, and I take them over and I feed them to the chickens. There are several other types of Japanese beetle traps, but most of them have some sort of pesticide in them to kill them. And if I'm going to be feeding them to the chickens, I don't want the pesticide in it. So that one actually works incredibly well, considering it's just a synthetic pheromone-based system, and there's actually nothing that comes into contact with the beetles to kill them. They just go in the bag, and then I dump them out for the chickens, and they meet their demise with the chickens. So if I can find it on an Amazon or whatever, I'll put a link to that down below, and I'll let you know. You can go check that out if you want to. All right, I'll see you at the box beds. All right, box beds over here now. So, and I just didn't video walking over here because the sun was really bright right there in an opening. So box beds look pretty different from where you saw last time. Trey harvested most of our onions about a week ago. He left the ones that were still standing up, but most of those have fell over now, so we can go ahead and pull them. There is one there that's still standing up, but I'm gonna give it a little bit longer time. Onion harvest this year was really disappointing. Every year for the past 5 or 6 years, I've made a video on our onions. I did not this year. It was extremely disappointing. We had a storm come through maybe 6-7 weeks ago, and we had just straight line winds come through here really hard, and it blew the tops of the onions all over, and they just never recovered. It stunted them. They never fully recovered. They started growing in funky directions, and they started expending so much energy just trying to recover and start growing their tops back that they just never came out of it. So that's the onions. We've got a bunch of peppers up here. We've got shishitos, we got poblanos, we got bells, we got cayennes, we got jalapenos. I'm sure I'm forgetting something else. So that's the peppers. Back over here, we got this Russian red kale back over here. That thing has just done incredible this year. The slugs and caterpillars and things are starting to get on it now, so they're pretty much annihilating it. But we actually harvested a bunch of that and froze that to use later in soups and different things like that. And then the big thing here is our Sun Sugar Gold, and I'll give you a close-up of that in a minute. The Sun Sugar Gold tomatoes are just hanging full. I mean, I probably can pick a gallon a day of these things, and you know, we do different things with them. Right now we really just snack on them for the most part, but Amy made some jalapeno tomato preserves last year that was absolutely incredible. I put it on my breakfast sandwich. I have a breakfast sandwich almost every morning when I'm home, every morning anyway, and I'll put those jalapeno tomato preserves on it, and a fried egg and some cheese, and that's pretty much my breakfast every morning. So, but like these right here, I'll just show you. These are the Sun Sugar Golds, straight off the plant. Don't wash them, who cares? You know, they're going out here. We ain't sprayed these things for anything. If you don't spray them, you don't have to worry about stuff. I mean, worst you're gonna get a little bit of bug or bird poop. But these are clean, I think. Anyway, they're good either way. I mean, I eat those things all the time, eat them by the handfuls, but they come on so much to where Amy just gets tired of dealing with them because there's just so many. I start pulling the plants out because we get tired of eating them and having to deal with them, because you have to pick them every day. There's just so many of them. Anyway, no blackberries been picked this week. That little rain, we had 2/10 of an inch came through yesterday. There was a chance for rain. I think I said it earlier, you know, chance for rain multiple days this week, and all we got was 2/10 of an inch yesterday. It really hasn't done anything to help the berries. Now down on the bottom of the hill where it's not, the sun's not so intense, there are quite a few berries down there. I've checked on those and my dad saw them today. So, you know, maybe we'll get into some more berries, but we got some other things going on right now. It's keeping us busy. That is probably going to be it for this video. I think that's it anyway. So thank you for watching. I appreciate you coming along with us here on these video series, and if you haven't yet, I'd really appreciate if you go and hit that subscribe button. Hit the like button if you like this. Drop a comment below. Let me know how your garden's doing, or if there's something in particular you'd like to see. So happy gardening. God bless.